Hey, so many of us live this conflicting story that we're not even aware of. And that is the story of identifying with our mistakes. I'm a failure. I fucked up, so I'm a bad person. Instead of saying I made a mistake. Instead of saying we did a certain behavior, we identify as I am this certain behavior. You know what I mean? And I want to read a page from this book, Psycho-Cybernetics, life-changing book. Okay, guys? But first of all, let me introduce myself. Welcome. Thank you for joining and tuning in to Elevate TV. I'm your favorite reality architect, Tremise Valentine. This is where we are transcending our minds and our lives to magnificence. And if you haven't already, go ahead, click that subscribe button, click that like button, because I know you're going to enjoy this video just as much as any other video I have in the past and in the future. So stay connected with me, y'all, because y'all are going to love this. And it's actually been a minute since I actually posted and made a video. Man, I've been through some things. But we're going to stay on topic, okay? That's another video for another time. We're going to stay on topic. So, the thing is, quote for today is, you make mistakes. Mistakes do not make you. All right? That is a good one. You make mistakes, but mistakes do not make you. It's helpful to think in terms of what we did or did not do, rather than in terms of what the mistakes made us. One of the biggest mistakes we can make is to confuse our behavior with ourself. To conclude that because we did a certain act, it characterizes us as a certain sort of person. It clarifies thinking if we can see that mistakes involve something we do, they refer to actions. And to be realistic, we should use verbs denoting action, rather than nouns denoting a state of being and describing them. For example, to say I failed is a verb, but to recognize an error can help lead to future success. But to say I am a failure, noun, does not describe what you did, but what you think the mistake did to you. This does not contribute to learning, but tends to fixate the mistake and make it permanent. This has been proved over and over in clinical psychological experiments. We seem to recognize that all children in learning to walk will occasionally fall. We say he fell or he stumbled. We do not say he's a faller or he is a stumbler. However, many parents do fail to recognize that all children in learning to talk also make mistakes or non-fluences. Hesitation, blocking, repetition of syllables and words. It is a common experience for an anxious, concerned parent to conclude he is a stutterer. Such an attitude or judgment, not of the child's actions, but of the child himself, gets across to the child, and he begins to think of himself as a stutterer. His learning is fixated. The stutterer, or his learning is fixated. The stutter tends to become permanent. According to Dr. Wendell Johnson, the nation's foremost authority on stuttering, this sort of thing is the cause of stuttering. He has found that the parents of non-stutterers are more likely to use descriptive terms. He did not speak, whereas the parents of stutterers were inclined to use judgmental terms. He could not speak. So I say this to say, y'all, I read this to say, to remember that you are not your mistakes. You're just a person who makes mistakes. You're just having this human experience. You're a soul, a beautiful soul, a beautiful starseed having this human experience. We're only here for a little bit of time, and then we go elsewhere. We go on to being that fully energetic being into that oneness. We're here to enjoy this thing we call life. We're not here to identify with the mistakes or the even the accomplishments. We are star seeds having a human experience. And bro, I have to remind myself of this too, because I get caught up in my mind with uh with what they call these days imposter syndrome, which is something just made up in these recent years of not being able to identify with who you truly want to be, or what you're really trying to do, even if it's just being a straight A student. How's that be, how can it really be an imposter of what you're trying to be, of the life that you're trying to live? Let me sit in this, because I'm just learning to sit in the uncomfortability instead of trying to overcome the uncomfortable. You know what I mean? To just sit with it and let it be. Because just sitting with it, you find strength in it. And then when you try to overcome it, I find myself trying to find the right words. I find myself trying to be perfect. But what's the point of being perfect? Is anything really perfect? And when you're trying to be perfect, are you really enjoying it? Nah. That's the whole key, man. We are meant to enjoy life, this experience. We're not meant to try to be perfect. When you're trying to be perfect, you become anxious. So just be. Just be. That's what I mean. Like when I'm trying to think and create the life that I want for myself. Those 10K months, having a newborn, having that pregnancy experience. That fire just comes in me, and I feel it right now, to help humanity to just allow themselves to be, just as I am working on allowing myself to be. Because we are here for one another, you know what I mean? We're not our mistakes. We're not our past. We're not what anyone molded us to be. We're not any of that. What we are is oneness. What we choose to be. How we choose to be in our everyday life. So what are you choosing to be? Are you choosing to be anxious? Are you choosing to talk down on yourself? You look in the mirror, you see disgust. You see something that you could look better in a certain way. Or are you speaking to yourself with love? Are you telling yourself you are better than this? Are you giving yourself what you truly deserve? Or are you quieting your greatest potential because of what someone may think? Because of fear, because of doubt? Or are you noticing that fear and that doubt, and you're sitting with it, and you're loving that moment of those feelings? Because then when you do sit with it and you love that fear and that doubt, you love it, you then are able to transmute it and see from a different perspective and continue on with your journey instead of stopping yourself in your tracks. That is what I'm working on. And I know many of you are too. Like, I know I'm not the only one. I'm here to spread the message. I have so much work to do. And this is what I'm doing. You know what I mean? This is a part of it. So, to those who want better for themselves, who want to construct a better reality, a better life, to build a better future now and forever on, subscribe to this channel, man. Subscribe to this channel and continue to love yourself through it all. Forgive the past, forgive the present, forgive the future. Don't be afraid of the future. Don't be afraid of the present. Don't be afraid of the past, but just be in the moment. Be in the moment, because when you're in the past, how can you be present and enjoy what's now? Appreciate it all. Psycho-Cybernetics, Maxwell Maltz. Read this book. All right. That's all I wanted to say was we make mistakes. Mistakes don't make us. Remember that. Start to use verbs instead of nouns. And just know that you made a mistake. Don't identify with your mistakes. Identify and conceptualize the self that you truly desire. What is the concept you have of yourself? What is it that you identify with? What is the characteristics of your best self, your desired reality? Who lives that life? What does that person do on a daily basis? How do they wake up? What is their routines? How do they speak to themselves? You know what I mean? Who do they hang around? What do they eat? Start to identify with that person. Straight up. All right? Much love to y'all. Once again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let me know in the comments what you got from this video. Let me know in the comments your key takeaways. Let me know in the comments if you are a part of the community who wants to expand and build their dream life. I'll catch y'all in the next one.